Hi, everybody. Kathy Tooley, CEO, Tools for Success. Thank you for joining us as we pull back another curtain as to what's happening in our schools. These curtains are from my book, The Education System is Broken, Tools for Rebuilding Hope, Lives, and Futures. If you watched our last video, we talked about politics and education on the larger scale. Today's curtain is called Politics and Education at the Local Level. So I want to read something for you. It says, education on the local level is divided between two very distinct groups of leaders, the administration and the school board. If those groups are working well and in sync, there's harmony. But if there's no harmony, or if there's disagreement between these two groups, there's division, confusion, mistrust, and a toxicity that damages schools. Let me give you a visual of what I mean. So when we think of our schools, I want you to think of two groups defining those schools. The first group is what I'm going to call in-house. Okay? That's going to be your principals, your assistant principals, any form of leadership team, your superintendents, your assistant superintendents. These people are all educators. They have licenses and degrees to be where they are. They have gone through training. They have been licensed by their state. They have the appropriate degrees that their states require. They have experience, although we'll talk about some of that in a minute in the other curtain. The second group you have, I'm going to call them out of house. This is going to be made up of your school board. Now we'll talk about each group more detailed in later curtains, but I want to give you a visual of something. If these two groups get along well, are harmonious, are really working together, it's a beautiful thing. And I've seen it. I've seen it. If the school board sees themselves as the consultative role to the licensed educators, it really is, it's really gorgeous. It's a harmonious, synchronous, well played, well orchestrated, well oiled machine. But the moment that there is division here, it's broken. It is broken. It becomes adversarial. It becomes vicious. I've seen it become personal. It becomes just a relationship that just fractures, absolutely fractures what's trying to happen in-house because out-of-house isn't playing as nicely. I want you to think, let me give you an analogy that may help for those of you not in schools. Think of parents. I've had friends of mine who have had children and then they've divorced. But yet they have a beautiful relationship. They still stand very much in sync as to what's happening with their child. They stay on the same page, they communicate very well with each other, and that child realizes that while the two people may not live in the same household, they're still very much being raised by the same parents. And then I'm sure we've all seen examples that it's not so pretty, that the divorce is nasty, and the child is that pawn in the middle. It ends up in courts. Kids end up in therapy. I want you to think of schools the same way. If that in-house group and that out-of-house group look at that school, those students, those teachers, as something that they harmoniously want to work together, it's magic. It's magic. And what can be done in those school districts is absolutely light years ahead of what other school districts. But if that relationship is nasty or adversarial or one that Someone here wants to get someone here. Someone in-house doesn't like one of the outliers on the school board, or one of the school boards, and yes, I've seen it, are elected simply to get someone in the house fired. It's nastiness. It's oil and water. And remember, every time these curtains are happening, the crossfire are kids. The damage, the casualties, the blood that's left on that field are kids who just came to school to learn English or math or science or social studies or the amazing arts. They just came to school to learn, but they're caught in this crossfire of firing bullets that they didn't even pick up a gun for. And the damage can be absolutely devastating. Devastating. If you don't believe what I'm saying is true, pick up a YouTube video and watch some school board meetings where you will watch a parent going after a school board, or administrators that flat quit because of school boards, or school boards that walk away and think we can't do anything. I also have to set a caveat every time I do one of these curtains. You might be a school board member watching this and think, I'm the most amazing school board member that's ever existed. I love my schools. I work with my schools. I would never do anything adversarial. To you, I say, ready? Good for you. I'm not talking about you. Or you could be the very problem and you aren't even aware that you are. Or I've heard school board members say, it's my job to hold schools accountable. And what I say to that school board member is, when's the last time you've been in a school? When's the last time you've been there? But we'll address school boards personally on another curtain more. I just simply in this one wanted to show you the visual that there are two dynamics running our schools politically on a local level. And we'll pull back the next curtain in a few days. I want to thank you as always for watching this video, for being willing to really start to have some of the tough conversations. Please subscribe to the channel. Be sure you like the channel. Be sure that you share it. If this is something that you really think, you know what, I never thought about this. I mean, I know that we go to elections, and most of us embarrassingly have to admit, we go to elections voting for school board members whose names we don't even know. We just press a button. Because most of us think, what power does a school board have? And we'll talk about that more in later videos. But I hope you get to see now that they do have a role, a huge role. And as I close out, I want to say this. Thank you, as always, for watching the videos, for being willing to have the conversations. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and have a fabulous day.